Yasu from Ireland. How lovely to be with you on this great occasion of the Mediation Festival. And thanks to Evie and to Nikos and Stella who've organised and brought us all together. You can see that my theme for these 15 minutes, see these 15 minutes as a nice coffee break for you to consider how it is that you can make your business mediation friendly. How can the skills, the approaches, the tips and tools of the mediation approach bring better conversations, better performance, better innovation to your business? That's what I want to talk to you for this short time. So be on the lookout for what might be of interest to you as you go through this session. How one little idea maybe you could fashion for your own setting. I want to talk about Sarah. Sarah is a CEO of a major company, pharmaceutical company, and she was engaging me to work with her team to make her team better. She said, "My team is good, Luke. I think it can be great. How could I do that?" And we talked about using what I call the theme of breakthrough conversations, which are really good mediation style conversations. And I said, "Sarah, you need to be honest with the group about where you feel that group is now and where it could be." So she opened the session that I was facilitating. She opened the session with this great statement of vulnerability, of honesty, but setting what I call the horizon of connection she wanted for the group, the horizon of ambition she wanted for the group that day. That was her mindset coming into that meeting, a mindset that is so helpful for us all when we are trying to encourage people to really get the most out of their business. Here is what she said. "I don't trust this group enough to do my best work." What a great, honest, vulnerable statement to make. But it was the honesty, and that's what we look for in the mediation approach, in the breakthrough conversation approach, in all of our relationships and in our professional relationships in this context of the businesses you are all growing. How can we do our best work? One of the ways we do that is trust. And one of the things that the mediation approach brings is the ability to be honest and real and safe as we go through our work and our relationships together. We need some courage. That is a picture of me looking terrified, as you can see, terrified as I leap out of a plane in New Zealand. Hello to our New Zealand colleagues and our Australian colleagues. I loved my time down there. And you can see on my face, I'm terrified. 12,000 feet over Mount Cook. But we need courage to really make the most of our mediation conversations, our breakthrough conversations. I remember thinking that guy who is sitting behind me, pushing me out of the plane, he said to me, he peeled my fingers off the bar and he said, "Get out, Luke, you've paid for it." And he pushes me out there. There's something about, like Sarah in that conversation with her leadership team, to be forthright, to be honest, to be courageous. To be courageous to say, we can do so much more together if we really build the trust, build the honesty, if we know how to conflict well. Conflict well. Mediation helps us to conflict well. So we need to be able to have these breakthrough conversations, not break down, not break out, break through. What are the breakthrough conversations you need to have? How can you use some of the mediation skills to enable you to have the best conversations of your professional life? So we're giving this wonderful festival these days to give you some time, to give you loads of tips about how you can bring this approach back to your business. Be on the watch out for those tips as you get. Let me give you my definition of a breakthrough conversation using a mediation style. Two aspects of the definition. First of all, being able to say and hear what needs to be said and heard. When I'm resolving a conflict with a team or with two people or with a large group, that's what I'm trying to create, the atmosphere where people are able, see, those words are so important, able, have that trust, have that connection. As I said to Sarah at the top of the session here today, Sarah, what's the horizon of connection you need to have with your team in order to be able to have the right conversations? And conversations are two-way. So I need to be able to say what I need to say, and I need to be able to hear what I need to hear. And it's so often when I'm training mediators, that's the most important skill, the ability to listen well. What's the mindset we need to have these conversations to really help our business grow, to really help to get the best out of the people we work with so that they have the best professional experiences that they can? Because we need some commitments to uncover what needs to be addressed. We need to look at our performance. We need to look at our innovation. Whatever it is in our teams, in our professional relationships, how can we have the best conversations to get to the real issues so that we make the right progress for our businesses? And we need that disposition, those mindsets of curiosity, always asking, I wonder what I can learn from this conversation. I wonder how I could take a different approach, a new approach. I wonder what I can contribute to this. Courageous to be able to commit to each other. We will have the right conversations in a safe way, in a psychologically safe way, but we will have them, not avoid them. And we're going to come with that mindset of being constructive. Mediation is all about finding the constructive outcomes and solutions that are not about blame, not about apportioning who was right and who was wrong, but it's about what is the right next step for us. What can we live with? How can we develop and evolve? What am I committed to? What I'm committed to, whether it's in business or in other relationships, to release the potential of resolution. Resolution is my focus, not conflict, but resolution. I'm interested in bending the arc of conflict towards resolution. And let's unpack that word a little bit in the time I have with you. Because often the work of resolution is harder than the work of conflict. People can stay stuck in conflict and don't know how to get out of it. I was mediating a workplace mediation yesterday with two people who had been getting on and in the last 6 months had stopped talking and had really got stuck into the narratives, into the beliefs they had about the conflict they felt they were having. And they had no idea, each of them, how to get out. But they were really wanted to find a way, but had no idea. So went deeper into the conflict. My job was to work with them individually and then together to look at an alternative way, resolution, mediation, breakthrough conversations, to look at new ways of perceiving each other, new ways of seeing what the motivation of the other person was. And the two words that seemed to really strike with them yesterday was intent and impact. They're two great words to hold in your head when you're having those conversations you need to have in your businesses. What was the intent that you have? And what was the impact it had on the person you were working with, on the team you were working with? And is there a gap? Is there a gap? Those of you in England and in other countries would know that great phrase, mind the gap between the train and the platform. Mind the gap between the intent and the impact. That is where the work needs to be done of resolution. And it can be hard for people to move out of their conflict and to move into the zone of resolution. And that's where the work is. How can it be different? How can we find ways that this will work for us? Resolution unlocks the potential of conflict. We don't avoid conflict. We go for healthy conflict that gets us the best resolution. Mediation gives us that opportunity to have the conversations we need to have so we can get more competent at resolution, make better decisions because we're not afraid to disagree, not afraid to bring a different perspective because we know it's going to be heard. We know we're going to be constructive in it. It is difficult to disagree if we don't feel psychologically safe, if we feel there's punishment for giving a different view. We feel empowered to bring a different perspective when we know we have trust, we have a commitment to great outcomes, we have a commitment to each other's success. That makes resolution and conflict so much more healthy. All the time when I was with those two yesterday in the workplace, I was saying, what's the horizon of enough to make us make progress, for you to make progress today? And what's the horizon of credible aspiration? I love that word horizon. Horizon is a lovely sense of space. It's not a definite location. It's a space where we can both meet. I can meet you there. Okay, I can go there. I can see the value of you coming to that space as well. And finding the language that works in your context so that people have those right conversations. Because so often, I love this image of the two adults not finding a way through, but the inner child sometimes really wanting to find a solution. But it's so hard to break out. And we need to have the tools and the skills. I spend so much of my time giving those skills to leaders, to team leaders, to managers, how to help people to break out, to break through into resolution, into ways forward. Okay, and here's another. I mean, I love cards and questions and what can help us unlock stuff. When you look at these questions, these are questions I might ask individuals, and I would say, which question do you too need to address today? What are the questions that are going to give you that breakthrough conversation? So there's loads of tips and tools that we can have, and in this short time, I'm just letting you know of some of them. What are the ones that are striking you now as you listen to this? So these are ones that I sometimes use with teams. What does this team need to talk about so that it can make progress? What is this team avoiding so that it's not making the best of its opportunities? And can we talk about that in a safe way and use those mediation skills of listening and empowering? We're developing, and you're one of the first audiences to hear about this. And I'm really delighted to bring it to the Mediation Festival, the Resolution Intelligence Indicator. So we're building on the great work done of Thomas Kilman and so many other assessments that are out there to find and to craft and create a resolve assessment. What is your style of resolution, of how you come through a conflict to an outcome? And there are 6 ways, and we've only a short time just to let you know, and we're going to give you a link if you're interested in being part of the Resolve community into the future. If you want to bring this into your work, into your teams, into your mediations, this is going to be a great tool for you to be able to have a language about how we have those great conversations to help our business. With each of those Resolve styles, there's a great shine. There's something, I have a real strength in how I come to a resolution. If I'm a great driver in my resolution style, that means I'm great at getting results. The shadow, we each in our styles, there's a shadow that sometimes we're triggered, sometimes we're not at our best. And there's a shadow. There's a shine, there's a shadow. And there's also a stretch. We can always develop and evolve. When we're having these conversations, using this mediation approach, we can stretch. And with each of these styles, there's a superpower. And I'd love to give you more of an insight into that over the next while. So do stay in touch with us. Because with each of these styles, 2 of them are really focused on people, the collaborator style, the accommodator. Some of these styles of how we resolve issues are around process. And we see all this when we work through mediations. And then some people, as I said, like the driver, who are fabulous at getting results. So and in a team, you want a mix of all of these. We can all dip in and out of each of them, but we're going to have some people who really shine in one of them. So really enjoy that. I'm coming near the end now, and just a couple of more minutes just for you to consider what's landing for you. What insight or question might this be prompting, and how you could apply this mediation approach, just breakthrough conversations approach into your workplace, into how you can have better conversations, better decisions, and better results. And sometimes I use this when I'm working with a team, to identify your own breakthrough conversations capacities. And I'll just quickly move to this slide, which gives you an insight into the range of ways that you might have a couple of strengths as you look at that page on the screen. A couple of things. Yeah, I'm good at showing respect. I'm really good at being prepared when it comes to a complex decision or conflict. And then I invite them, and where is it that you need to grow, to stretch? And for some, it might be, I need to be better at dealing with it directly rather than, being avoidant. or I need to get better at clarity. All of there are ways in which we can have conversations about how we can resolve better, how we can really use that mediation approach to really develop our businesses and how we do our business, how we do our work, so that we get those better results. Final slide, and thank you for your patience. And I hope my pace hasn't been too fast from Ireland, but it's been so good to be with you. Let me leave you with a question. How will you make your next conversation a breakthrough one? How will you do that? And there's the information about who I am and who we are, how wonderful it has been to be with you. And I'm looking forward to engaging with you now with your questions and comments. So thank you very much. Back to Nikos and ending the video. Thank you.